What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another Palantir update for you guys. So we're going to be discussing the demo day event coming on January 26th. We're going to talk about all that event has to offer, what the share price could go to, and how this will affect everything that has to do with Palantir. Now, before we get into all of that, if you guys enjoy this information in this video, please go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so you're never late on any one of these videos that I put out, and you can stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and maybe even learn about a couple of new ones. Now, if we go over and take a look at this article, we can see that Palantir Technologies announced that it will hold its inaugural live demo day on Tuesday, January 26th. 2021 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you are a Palantir shareholder, this is going to be an event and a date that you're going to want to circle on your calendar and definitely watch this event. Now, Palantir's product demos will include its Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo platforms. These are the main platforms that they use to service different companies, organizations, and institutions. Now, the product leads will also show the latest releases of each platform and describe the upcoming research and development roadmap for 2021. Now, this next sentence is going to be the most important part, in my opinion, and is really going to have an effect on where the share price is going to go. So, Palantir will cover examples of its commercial and government work. This government work part is extremely important. So, Palantir has gotten $175 million worth of government contracts in the year 2020. And a lot of these contracts, what they were used for was helping out with the pandemic in various ways. And as of right now, we sort of know what these contracts are for, but we haven't seen any live examples of what Palantir's software can do in this setting, in what it has done for us during this pandemic. So let's take a look at the first contract that they got. This was the largest one. So this was from the U.S. Army Vantage program, and this was about $114 million contract. So back in December 2019, the U.S. Army selected Palantir for a $458 million production agreement to power this program, and they're really going to use it to facilitate data-driven decision making. So the contract was for a base year and 3 option years. So essentially what this means is that the Army gave Palantir basically a 1-year trial. They paid them for the year and then decided that they liked the service so much that they decided to exercise their option for the next year. Now, over the last year alone, the Army Vantage has helped Army leaders make this data-driven decisions in the fight against the pandemic and allowed billions of taxpayer dollars to be freed up for high-priority projects. So they're basically making the Army and their funding more efficient, as well as Palantir being part of Operation Warp Speed, which has been very helpful in getting treatments and vaccines. Now, the next part is going to be a contract with the FDA. So Palantir won a deal with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to help power drug reviews, inspections, further expanding the company's government business as it hustles to hit a raised revenue target for 2020. Now, before we talk a little bit more about this article, if you guys want to see how I'm going to be playing this date, make sure you stick to the end of this video, and I'm going to give some plays that I'm going to be looking at for the coming weeks. Now, getting back to this, the 3-year deal is worth $44 million and will allow the FDA Center for Drug Evaluation and Research and the Oncology Center of Excellence to use this software to integrate and analyze data. Again, they're using it for possible pandemic treatments and to monitor the safety of items like hand sanitizer, basically because some of these products were deemed to be toxic. Now, if we go over here, this contract was not from the United States, but it was from the UK's NHS. And this was for $31.5 million. So this is going to enable NHS decision makers to best plan use of resources and improve patient care. It's also going to help the operational rollout of the UK's vaccine, which is going to be very important in getting the vaccine to people who need it the most and have the highest likelihood of contracting it, coming down with severe symptoms, and giving it to others. They're also going to detect emerging hotspots. As you can see, Palantir is doing a lot to help with us getting through this virus. And they're also going to help with making sure the facilities and the people going to the facilities are allocated correctly. Like as we've seen in New York, the hospitals are overrun, they're running out of equipment, so Palantir's technologies are being used to make sure that that does not happen. Now, if we go over and take a look at the chart of Palantir, we can see that on December 23rd, the stock peaked at around the $29 range and went on an absolute free fall of about 18% to the $23.55 mark. Now, the reason for this was mainly that it got a couple of downgrades, and a lot of people are scared about the share lockup expiring on February 14th, 3 days after Palantir's next earnings announcement, as well as there's been some institutional fund rebalancing at the end of the year, which is to be expected. But usually when we see some of these rebalancing, the stock usually kind of has a nice reversal and rips up in the following weeks after the sell-off. Now, I think that Palantir is going to have a pretty significant run-up into this demo day. Now, let's take a look at the option chain and we can see exactly what I'm saying. So February 19th is going to be the monthly expiration for February, and that is going to cover the January 26th date of the demo day. So we can see that the $30 strike right now is trading for about $1.64, and the open interest on this contract is 25,000, and we can see that the volume over here, 17,000 of these contracts were traded on December 24th. So volume essentially tracks the amount of contracts that were bought in and sold in a given day. And since the last trading day was December 24th, 17,000 contracts were traded. Now that's a pretty significant number. We can see that the open interest for the 35s, and the open interest essentially means that that's the amount of contracts that are in people's brokerage accounts. We don't know if these are retail investors or large institutions, but it's pretty far enough out of the money that we can assume that it's not going to be institutions taking such a big risk. But we can see that the volume on these is a little bit lower. So I'm going to speculate that people are gearing up for another rally in Palantir. So this right here, I'm probably going to be taking a look at these $30 strike contracts for February 19th. It gives you enough time after the demo day, and you can always sell off before if you're worried about there being a crash after demo day and something going wrong. Now, none of this is a recommendation. This is just what I'm looking at, but I think this is probably the best strike to go for. If you go out any farther, it's going to be gambling at that point. I mean, options are risky, but this is going to be insane. The implied volatility is extremely high, and it doesn't really have that good of a shot at going in the money. Now, I could be wrong. If these contracts down here go in the money, the $30 contracts will be very deep in the money and will have a lot of profit. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed what I had to say, please go down and hit the like button. We're about to hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.